Good morning. I'm Ayya Vimala, and today is August the 15th. So most schools have started up, and kids are back in school. And some kids are back home because other kids have tested positive for COVID. So the world continues. Samsara continues on. So I hope your children are safe. If you're teaching, and I see Steve, if you're teaching, I hope you feel safe. We know the world right now is full of lots of strife and lots of weather. We're kind of exhausted with the weather, but this is samsara. So try to be an observer and try to be at peace. I know I have to caution myself to not get overly involved with the news, because that can just be another way to go down those rabbit holes of endless thought and worry and concern and what can I do to change it. There's so much that we cannot change, and we have to keep remembering that that's the nature of this world, and that's why we call it samsara. And there's so much that we can't change. So we have to see what we can do within our own, with whatever we can do in our own world, and we have to send metta, send good thoughts to those who are beyond any kind of help that we can offer, and move forward. But try to take everything more impersonally. And sometimes we are so concerned taking everything personally in our small world that we don't even notice the rest of the world. So we don't want to go to that extreme, but try to balance how much news you take in, and if you find yourself becoming anxious and stressed because of the world news, that's not helping anybody. That's forgetting about ourselves and the world that we inhabit. So try to keep balance in your life and take it one breath at a time, and really work to understand the nature of Dhamma, the nature of all things. And that can help. We can see what we can do, and we can see where our efforts can be fruitful, and we can try not to take things personally. That'll make us easier to get along with by everyone who wants to be around us. And we can make those small changes. So please don't let yourself get overloaded with the nature of samsara, with the world. It's still a very good thing to be born a human. We can learn a lot. We have more consciousness in this life. So take advantage of that. And don't become fearful. Don't retreat into fear and anxiety about the world. But be careful of how much you do take in. I know if we just keep listening to bad news all the time, that's all we can see. That's all we can have floating around in our minds. And those become defilements, because we incorporate it into just how we see everything. So we're going to sit together today, but one of the books that I had mentioned that I might read a little bit from this book, but this is from Buddhadasa Bhikkhu, and it's called Heartwood of the Bodhi Tree. So Heartwood of the Bodhi Tree it's the Buddhist teaching on voidness. That's anatta. And he has such a different point of view. He really, he's really, I think, a wonderful teacher. He is not alive today, but he has people who have studied under him, who are teaching, and there are people who have committed a lot of their lives to working with him, studying with him. And Santikaro in Wisconsin was the monk who did so much of he was Santikaro Bhikkhu. Then when he came back to America, he did disrobe and became a lay teacher. And he's still in Wisconsin with a new retreat center. It's been kind of a rugged place for several years, but I think now he's got cabins and places where people can go on retreat. And he was a translator and a dear student of Ajahn or Bhikkhu Buddhadasa. And he died in 1993. So I may read from this book. I won't read it page by page, but I just wanted to let you know, if you're aware of him, I wonder how you feel about him. I love his teachings. And this book is about, well, we won't read this book today because I want to be more selective in short things that I would read. But it's all about that quality of, sometimes we call it spaciousness or no self, or, and he calls it voidness. So he's a wonderful teacher on things that we can contemplate on, and some sweetness we can have come into our lives. So that's Bhikkhu Buddhadasa. Let's use our time today, now the rest of our time, sitting together. And in the world today, I think it's really good if we can practice metta when we sit. And last time on, Friday, I did a longer metta practice. And today we'll probably with our time right now, we'll do about 15 minutes of practice. Oh, thanks. Eva B put the link to his book. And see what you think about it. Let me know. Yeah, you can get a PDF of the book. Wonderful. That's good. My copy is an old copy. I just realized it might have been revised since mine was written. So I'll check that PDF out too. So let's sit together, and hopefully it will give you the momentum to carry through the day. And if you have other moments during the day where you can just sit and be and not worry about being busy, but just being, make your own little retreat space at home, or think of yourself having a rains retreat going on when you can. So take more time for your meditation practice, or time to be out in nature, time just to relax your mind and your body and be present. I think for all of us, the tendency when we're under stress too is to get very busy and have things that can keep us moving, so we're not thinking as much. And that busyness becomes a problem in itself. So allow yourself to have some time when you can just be with yourself, being present, and it can be enjoying nature. It doesn't have to be sitting and making yourself feel depressed, but let yourself explore the beauties of your backyard or a little corner of your world, and allow yourself to relax. So let's sit together now. Just be aware of the body breathing. I can hear, I'm smiling because I have plates outside with sunflower seeds for the squirrels and chipmunks and birds. And I can hear So you might be able to hear it too. I think there were some chipmunks playing inside one of the plates, and I could hear that this morning. Earlier this morning, I could hear the plates rattling outside. Okay, your body is in a position that allows it to be relaxed and yet attentive and awake. Observe your body breathing. And when things come into our sense doors, or sounds, light, a fragrance or a smell, and the taste in our mouth, and the feeling, the contact with our body, that might be because there's a breeze, or we're out in the sun and feel the sun on our skin. We may be inside and we feel cooler air. Just let yourself be aware of all of that. Be aware of what's going on in your body. So let's do a very quick body scan. And it's okay to do these quickly. And then some days when you have time, you can just come back and spend more time doing your own body scan. And just run through the body. Really help yourself be present in your body. That's a very good practice these days. And that includes your mind. We want our mind to drop down into the body. So begin at the top of your head, moving down on all sides of your head, and also check the inside of your head. Moving gradually down from the top of your crown, down to the base of your skull, and in the front down to below your jaw. Just moving through your head, noticing if it's tense, if you feel any pain, if it's comfortable. Feel and be aware if your head feels nicely balanced on top of your neck. And if you're lifting up your spine, if you feel any tension as you move through your body, see if you can either breathe into that spot and allow it to relax, or see if you can find a way to maybe shift your posture or relax a little bit more and let that tension, tightness, let it loosen. Don't let your body be tense. That tension will build into some pain, and all of our focus will go to that. So sit back or lay back. Be in a posture that allows you to feel relaxed, to feel comfortable, yet to be awake, attentive, and aware. Now move down through your neck. Just keep noticing if your spine feels that it's comfortable. And if you have, your own body will dictate whether your spine feels straight and your vertebrae each one feels neatly stacked on top of the one below. Move through your neck. Paying attention to these parts of your body that are in this area. Move into your shoulders. Down into your upper arms, both arms, and down into your lower arms. When you get to your hands, let your palms be open, and you can have your right hand stacked on top of your left, or you can place palms down, one hand on each of your upper legs, or palms up, whatever is comfortable for you. But let those hands be open. Not clenched. Now come back into your upper chest, feeling your breath. So we can feel our breath around our nostrils. We can feel it in our upper chest. And again, we'll feel it in a second down in our belly. So move from your upper chest down into your mid-torso. And then down into your belly, and into your pelvic area, your hips. And this is where we need to pay attention to see how our sitting posture is. Or if you're walking, notice if your strides are coming comfortably through your hips. And you can always feel your breath in your belly. As you inhale, the belly comes out. And as you exhale, the belly contracts a bit. You can feel that rise and fall easily in your belly. Now move down into your upper legs and your lower legs, and then through your ankles and into your feet. Wiggle your toes. Move all the way out through your toes. And then come back to your breath. And pick either the area around your nostrils or your belly to have a very light focus. Have that little butterfly resting at the point where you want to feel your breath. It's a very light focus, but it's where we can always come back, come home. So if we're practicing and suddenly we realize that we've become very distracted by one of our stories or a reaction to something coming into our sense consciousness, remember each sense has a door. So hearing, the ear is the door, and each of those signals are picked up through the consciousness of that sense. So we have hearing, and the door is the ear, And then we have we have a hearing consciousness. So that includes our 5 senses. And then the 6th sense in the Buddhist teachings is the mind. So even our thoughts, those are things coming into our mind, and then we create those thoughts. So what we pick up through our other senses will go to our mind, and it might create a memory, or it might create a reaction or a thought. So we can be aware of those. And we can just allow ourselves to see these reactions just rise and then gradually fall away, just like our breath. We inhale, there's a little pause, and then we exhale. So the breath rises in us, stays a bit, and then falls away. So we can follow the rise and fall of everything going on with us. Now let's practice metta, and we'll do a short metta as we run out of time, but metta is very important these days. Well, it's always important. It's even more important in the present moment. First, send those good, friendly, kind, loving thoughts to yourself. We need to know how it feels to befriend ourselves, to take care of ourselves, to be kind to ourselves. No need to punish ourselves at all. May I be well. May I feel safe. May I be content. And may I experience true happiness. And may I be at peace. When you say these words to yourself, really try to know that you mean them, that you know you deserve to take care of yourself, that's important. Now send these same thoughts or blessings out to your loved ones. Sometimes we can feel very estranged and cut off from our loved ones. But we can still send this love, this friendliness, this kindness to them. we still want the best. So may all my loved ones, family members, and dear friends, may they be well. May they feel safe. Be content. Experience true happiness. And live in peace. To be peaceful within and without. And now just allow the same feeling, the same energy just to radiate out from you, and allow it to begin covering the world and covering everything familiar and everything unfamiliar and unknown to you. Allow this quality of kindness and harmlessness and peace towards all other living beings in this world and beyond. Just allow this to radiate out from you. And remember, we can't leave any being out. It's a very powerful energy. And it has no boundaries and no limitations. This is wanting the best for every living being, human and non-human, visible and invisible beings. May all beings be at peace, be free from suffering and the causes of suffering, and be free from hunger and thirst and the changing conditions of our climate and weather. Let's just sit quietly for a few more minutes. Sending out loving kindness. Be aware of each breath you take in and each breath you breathe out. May everything we do and think and say today not only be done for our own benefit, but for the benefit of all living beings. And thank you for joining me. Keep your metta practice going all day. It may be the very best thing that anyone does for the world today. So thank you for putting up with the outside noises. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of my practice. And I'll see you Tuesday morning.